Hello YouTubers, this is the Noobifier and welcome to my thoughts on the last ATV and a rundown of what's changing with 3.0. We just had a huge update from the UK studio on Around the Verse. That update is the first one that hit me as being a true turning point. I feel we're finally done climbing and with 3.0 well beyond the point of no return. I've been excited for over 2 years to see the addition of this planetary gameplay. Over the years we've seen the developmental builds demoed, but there's a certain milestone associated with playing it for yourself. And at that point, it becomes a feature and not a demo. I did a video over 14 months ago where I said Planetary Tech was the most important blocker. There's some other big ticket items such as netcode and subsumption which are also critical, but if planets weren't done right, it was my opinion that would break the game. With the release of 3.0, I'm very happy that the community will finally be able to playtest what we've been teased with for years. Watching week to week, it's very easy to forget how unique and groundbreaking this really is. In the past, I've tried to contextualize why it's taking so long to develop this game in a series of videos. I've taken the time to put those videos into a new playlist which is linked right now. If you're interested, I would love for you to take some time to watch them. Many games throughout the years have included features similar to those that are coming out in Star Citizen. None of them have tried to encapsulate all of them seamlessly into one game. The funny thing is, when I think of all the planned features, the term groundbreaking doesn't seem strong enough to express what's really being built. Usually a game like this would be developed in secrecy. The successes and failures would happen behind a veil of an NDA. Because the community is funding the game, we have that double-edged sword of transparency. The community has always demanded no compromise. The community wanted stretch goals, knowing that might extend the timeline. The community voted that it would be better to take the time to get it right, to fully flesh out the vision before launch. It's the game scale that got me interested, it's developmental audacity that got me excited, and its complexity that led me to make videos. It's been over 2 years since we saw a rough chunk of video footage of a player walking on a surface. It was presented very casually at the end of ATV. It wasn't a headliner, it was just an understated sneak peek. It was like, oh, and by the way, the German office has figured out how to make procedural planets and we're putting that into the game. Mind blown. They could have elected to include that tech in a later patch after commercial release. Because the game code and game engine are being used for Squadron 42 and the Persistent Universe, the decision to delay was the right call in spite of the backlash. This is probably the first time for most of us that we've been on the sidelines of game development. At times it was very easy to think maybe this is impossible and maybe this game project will end up like so many other attempts, but after ATV, it's totally clear to me that our faith was well placed. I'm very proud to be an early backer, and with each patch, the critics and skeptics will generally have less and less to be critical about. Many milestones were reached, and this patch adds so many features that I thought were blocking the path. It's been 16 months since we saw the Planet the Pupil demo, 11 months since we saw the Gamescom demo, followed immediately by a full-length mission at CitCon. This long lull for 3.0 has led to community boredom and frustration. Hopefully all of that is behind us. When I look back, I remember my initial reaction on how huge the baby PU seemed in December of 2015. Now, even with Grim Hex and new mission content, the universe seems very small for many hours of testing and playing. Let's quickly capture some additions in 3.0 in no particular order. The size of the universe will grow exponentially. I expect to see an edge-to-edge quantum travel time between 5 to 10 minutes. We know there will be at least 3 planets and 3 moons being released with AI-inhabited wrecks, abandoned wrecks, outposts, debris fields, and major landing hubs. They're adding more mission givers into the PU. Miles Etkart is the first NPC implemented into Subsumption. His character will be our first look at the AI in Star Citizen. We'll see 2 new classes of suit, the Heavy Marine and the Explorer, plus new player-usable weapons. Item System 2.0 is feature complete and includes an updated radar system, fuel refuel system, ship power system, ship pipes, and an updated quantum drive system. Cargo is being implemented in this patch with an array of commodities to transport and trade. With the new cargo system, there's a new inventory system as well that'll let the player manage large cargo loads. The cargo system will include the ability to transport the Ursa rover, Dragonfly and Nox if the ship is capable of carrying them. On the subject of ships, finally, the updated Cutlass Black, the Drake Dragonfly, the Misk Prospector, the updated Constellation Aquila, the Ursa rover, and almost 100% we're going to see the Nox. The Moby Glass is getting a massive buff to include several application pages: personal, mission, cargo, ship customizer, ship selector, mission board, and the star map. The comm system's gonna have a hail system to request landing pads. I expect some penalties such as a fine or a wanted level for those people who simply land without clearance. We're gonna notice some increased persistence. If you take damage in the verse, persistence will be maintained between play sessions. If you log out with a broken ship and no missiles, that means that it'll still be broken and bare when you return. That might cut down on missile spam, plus I expect that to carry over to personal weapons and grenades as well. We should see an expanded economy with the implementation of cargo. Remember though, this is an alpha and we're still trading in AUEC with a likely wipe between future patches. I can't see CIG selling ships or gear with UEC until later. The PU map, known simply as Crusader, was fully rebuilt to transition to the object container system. A mega map is the way this game manages assets as part of the optimization plan. It works by loading all assets initially, so there are fewer halts during play. There was talk about the Delta or incremental patcher, which would in the future facilitate updates without the need of downloading the entire game file. Although that's great news for the future, it won't have an immediate benefit, as I imagine you'll still need to download the entire build for 3.0. I'm eager to see improvements to cockpits as 3.0 brings a more complete user interface across the fleet. The MFDs and HUDs are being made to work within items 2.0. Hopefully we're going to get some restored function to the visor that some of the more veteran pilots will remember. We're going to see a very basic set of character customization and the long-awaited female character. The actual feature list for 3.0 is very long and I'm sure I've missed some. This should cover the big ticket items. I'm hoping we see improvements to the netcode, hit registration, the frame cap, and the player cap. My near future is very exciting and overwhelming at the same time. There are so many new topics that I want to work on to help you quickly understand. I'm very sure I'll be super busy working on those topics between Evocati and live launch. Thanks very much for spending your time with me today. Please consider telling a friend about the channel. My goal is to grow this channel and I can't do that without the help of citizens like you. Fly safe and I'll see you in the verse.